What happens when a team fighting for a top playoff seed walks into the home court of a struggling opponent, and turns the game into a defensive demolition? That's exactly what happened Wednesday night, as the Golden State Valkyries didn't just beat the Connecticut Sun. They ran away with it, winning 89-60 in a game that was essentially decided before halftime. ESPN.com. +1. Coming into this matchup, Golden State already had plenty of momentum. The Valkyries had just taken down the WNBA's top-seeded Minnesota Lynx 80-66, snapping a long losing streak against Minnesota and showing once again why their defense has become such a problem for the rest of the league. Connecticut, meanwhile, had just beaten Chicago behind a career night from Aaliyah Edwards, who scored 26 points and grabbed 10 rebounds. So on paper, the Sun had a reason to believe they could make this interesting. Golden State Valkyries. +1. But that hope disappeared almost immediately. Golden State opened the game with a 26-point first quarter while Connecticut managed just 11. Then the Valkyries added another 29 points in the second quarter, turning what could have been a competitive road game into a 28-point halftime advantage. By the break, Golden State was up 55-27, and the biggest question wasn't who would win anymore, it was whether Connecticut could somehow stop the bleeding. ESPN.com. And that's where the larger story comes in. The Valkyries entered the night averaging 82.5 points per game, but their real identity has been defense. They were allowing just 76.3 points per game, one of the best marks in the WNBA, while Connecticut was allowing nearly 87. That matchup was already a major problem for the Sun, and Wednesday night made the difference painfully clear. DraftKings Network. +1. Golden State had also beaten Connecticut twice already this season. The first meeting ended in a 97-70 Valkyries blowout, and the second finished 79-64. So this wasn't some random upset or one-night mismatch. Golden State had consistently found a way to control Connecticut, and the third meeting turned into the most convincing result of them all. DraftKings Network. +1. For the Sun, the timing couldn't have been much worse. Connecticut entered the game near the bottom of the WNBA standings, while Golden State was sitting at 26-11 and battling for position near the top of the Western Conference. The Valkyries were also playing the first half of a road back-to-back, with a major matchup against the New York Liberty waiting immediately afterward. In other words, Golden State had every reason to take its foot off the gas. Instead, it did the opposite. Golden State Valkyries. +1. That says something about this team. The Valkyries aren't simply winning games because one player gets hot. Their offense is balanced, their defense travels, and players like Gabby Williams and Veronica Burton give them two-way stability. Williams entered the night averaging 14.4 points, while Burton was contributing 12.5 points and 5.6 assists per game. And Golden State's recent form was just as impressive, with the team entering this stretch at 7-3 over its previous 10 games. StatMuse. +1. Meanwhile, Connecticut had been trending in the opposite direction. Before the game, the Sun were just 3-7 over their previous 10, averaging 77.2 points while opponents were scoring 86.3. That's a difficult formula against a Valkyries defense that had already shown it could shut down one of the league's best offenses just 2 nights earlier. CBS News. And then came the final numbers, 89 points for Golden State, just 60 for Connecticut. The Valkyries led 26-11 after 55-27 at halftime, and never allowed the Sun to mount anything close to a comeback. The final margin was 29 points, making it another statement win for a Golden State team that now looks increasingly dangerous heading toward the postseason. ESPN.com. There's also a bigger story surrounding Connecticut that makes this matchup even more significant. The Sun are preparing to leave Connecticut after the 2026 season and move to Houston, meaning Wednesday's game was the final time these franchises would meet in Connecticut. So even though the scoreboard was brutally one-sided, the night carried a different kind of significance for the Sun and their fans. Connecticut Sun. +1. For Golden State, though, the message is much simpler. The Valkyries are not slowing down, and with the playoffs approaching, their combination of defense, depth, and disciplined team basketball is becoming harder to ignore. After beating the top team in the league and then dismantling Connecticut on the road, Golden State has made one thing very clear: if this team keeps defending at this level, nobody is going to be excited about seeing the Valkyries in a playoff series. And now comes the real test. Golden State doesn't get to celebrate this win for long, because the Liberty are waiting next. That matchup could reveal even more about whether the Valkyries are simply having a strong season, or whether they're building towards something much bigger when the postseason arrives. If you found this update helpful, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Prime Wire, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest news. Thanks for watching.